Walking away was hard, but it was when the Illuminati first started coming after him. And I'll never forget the day when they breached the house.
The FBI have leaked some unsettling information regarding Diddy's dubious business partners, putting a hit out on them since they don't like how they've been disclosing all of their business to the public. So Chill, Jaguar Wright, and Cat Williams had better run for their lives. Even before the fans discovered Diddy, Jaguar and Cat had been on his tail for a while, but they were labeled as nuts and resentful for only attempting to let people see the reality. Furthermore, he claims that people's lives are in danger now that they are at last paying attention to him. Actually, there have already been 2 efforts to imprison Jaguar in order to silence her. She also revealed, not too long ago, that several armed men had broken into Cat's home in the middle of the night in order to remove him. Although it's unknown how Cat managed to escape the house unharmed, Jaguar claims that Cat was so terrified by the incident that he used to sleep every night wearing Kevlar, just in case it came for him again. And to clarify, for those of you who are unaware, a Kevlar is essentially a bulletproof vest. In order to avoid being discovered missing, he had to wear this bulky bulletproof vest to bed, in addition to constantly having to glance over his shoulder.
But it was when the Illuminati first started coming after him. And I'll never forget the day when they breached the house and I left. You know, back in that moment, Cat was still wearing Kevlar to bed. I would get in bed with him at night and he would have Kevlar on. Wow. In bed.
Many were making fun of Comedy Central execs for perhaps being behind this when Jaguar made this revelation. People were so certain that it was them because at the time, Cat was embroiled in a bitter fight with Comedy Central because he refused to undertake the highly dubious things they asked him to do on video. Jaguar Wright informed that they had chosen to off him.
At the moment where it made you want to speak your truth.
He went after Comedy Central. That's what happened. The Flavor Flav roast. The moment that I knew the Snoop Dogg is sold out. That was a hurtful moment. They wanted Cat to humiliate Flav, like humiliate him, like no holds barred. And they sent a bunch of jokes. And I'll never forget watching Cat in the office downstairs at the house in Marina Del Rey. And he's sitting there looking at the script and just shaking his head. And then the next thing you know, the phone rang and I'm standing there in the office in the doorway and I'm like, are you all right? And he picked up the phone and it was Comedy Central. And I listened to him threaten to kill him. He said, I'm not doing this. You are not going to get a black man, a real black man, to agree to do this to another black man. Dollars. It was a terrible day. And then that's when all the incidents started happening. Them sending people to the house, them putting plants backstage at the shows. I mean, I was on tour with him for American Hustle.
Right.
I was on set for First Sunday.
He said he got arrested over 30 times. Yeah. No convictions.
I'm getting close.
Go ahead.
But it's been about 30 for him. It's been 8 for me.
Yes.
He beat felony. I beat felony. You know, it was just terrible. And when I would think back to that moment, and then they called him the day the day before filming and asked him, was he going to be there? And he said no. And then the next thing you know, production went on later on that day and Snoop was already ready. And Snoop did everything that Comedy Central asked. That Flavor Flav roast was Cat's. That was his moment. The Flavor Flav roast and the death of Malik B are the same.
Jaguar stated that she has been close to Cat for a number of years and that it was Cat who inspired her to begin exposing the truth about Hollywood and everything that occurs there.
I'll never forget when he walked into the club and I was sitting at my table. Cat Williams had taught me how to be Jaguar Wright.
Oh, wow. Okay.
However, as you can see, Jaguar's life is also in jeopardy, as they have been attempting to quiet her ever since she began discussing Jay and Beyoncé. Her conversations used to be mostly about Diddy, but the more she talks about it, the worse things have grown for her. A few years ago, Jaguar disclosed that a lawyer who had previously worked for Diddy had told her about the occasion they happened to walk in on Christopher Williams giving Diddy the finger in the office, which is how she got started on her campaign to expose the industry. Jaguar claims that even though Diddy knew Christopher was straight, he yet made him go down on him in order to get a record deal, only to demonstrate his dominance.
See, Christopher Williams I don't know. I guess he wanted to sign. I don't know what happened. But Puff was supposed to be giving him a demo deal, and he gave him a demo deal, and I guess it was supposed to turn into an album deal, which that never happened. But this young woman walked in to get approval on some paperwork. See? And when she walked in, the door wasn't locked, so she didn't think twice about just walking in. And when she walked in, she saw Christopher Williams performing on Puff. Now, from what she said to me, it was disturbing because, you know, they didn't stop. She just walked out, and she just kept her head down at the office the rest of the day, I believe it was. And I don't think it was at the end of business day that day, but I think it was the following day. He came into her office and was like, yeah, so you came in there, so what? What you gonna do? You wanna say something? And she was like, oh no, she was like, I just don't understand why you left the door unlocked. If you were in there doing that, why would you leave the door unlocked? He said, I'll do whatever the fuck I want to do in my building. And I just don't know. He was like, it's power, see? I can make a man, he said, if I can make a man suck my dick, I can make people do anything.
Jaguar, however, wasn't just focused on Diddy. She also claimed that Jay-Z had gotten into a sexual relationship with Foxy Brown when she was just 15 and had given her an STD. He allegedly ditched her for Beyoncé, who was only 18 when they first started dating, and coerced her into this relationship in exchange for a record contract. Furthermore, she made some outrageous claims on Piers Morgan's show when she recently made an appearance. Specifically, she mentioned how Jay-Z appeared to fund the investigation into R. Kelly and Diddy and his role in Aaliyah's death.
Publicly, Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail, get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Talk to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. Nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will, putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane, unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about.
Jaguar,
Guess they're on vacation.
If this goes to court, Jaguar, do you think the world is going to be shocked by what comes out?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know why they are. It's been happening in front of everyone's faces for decades.
In addition, she says she knows 3 of Beyoncé's victims who are prepared to testify in court about the alleged abuse they endured at the hands of Jay-Z and Beyoncé. She said that Diddy will be disclosing all of these details in court when the trial begins, and that anyone who believes differently isn't paying attention.
If this goes to court, Jaguar, do you think the world is going to be shocked by what comes out?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know why they are. It's been happening in front of everyone's faces for decades.
As Jaguar was disclosing this information, many people were afraid for her, believing that if she continued to talk behind her back, she would soon face legal action. However, it appears that the industry has different ideas for her, as they have been attempting to remove her rather than suing her, according to reports on the street. Given that Jaguar has spoken to so many people throughout the years, it's unclear exactly who is coming for her. But one thing is for sure, her life is in jeopardy, and she's pleading for help. These rumors now stem from Jaguar's unexpected arrest for violating the terms of her rental agreement for a U-Haul truck, which she neglected to return. I'm sure that everyone knows of 1 or 2 individuals who have failed to return a U-Haul truck at least once, and thankfully, none of them were jailed. Even though it was obvious that the elites were trying to silence Jaguar, she persisted in speaking her truth. The situation worsened to the point when Jaguar herself had to speak up, thereby confirming that this arrest was a plot to silence her.
I've been arrested for something that I didn't do.
and yet nobody. So, but did he get arrested finally and get ready to be thrown at his very, very, very dancing feet? Y'all watch me get arrested, man. This is crazy.
To make matters worse, she attacked Jay-Z and Beyoncé on Instagram Live the day after she made an appearance on the Piers Morgan show. She said that they had made a few phone calls to get her charged with a few felonies so that she would be compelled to remain silent. In addition, she charged that they were utilizing witchcraft to trick people into mindlessly adhering to them.
Jay-Z wants me broken, stopped, or under his control. And it ain't gonna happen, Sean. I'm never gonna be under your control. Never. You need to learn how to control your wife and her friends and their mouths. Because you got Beyonce in the Beehive looking real fucking dumb right now. 5 million unfollowed, and that number's gonna go up with every image in one of those freak off tapes. And God help, if anybody here, how that bitch really talks about people with her goofa country ass, they'll start unfollowing by the tens of hundreds.
And many think that Jaguar's death, or at least something bigger, is what's behind all of these legal challenges against her. People also brought up the late, well-known TikToker Kyle Marissa, who, only a few days before she was discovered dead, was also outing Diddy and Jay-Z. Kyle broke down Diddy's lawsuit facts in a video not too long before she was cruelly unalived. And she didn't hold back. Millions of people saw her videos, and it appears that the elites were not pleased with this at all, because she passed away inexplicably shortly after uploading all of these videos.
And this is Little Rod, Rodney Jones, Sean Diddy Combs, the male victim that came forward. They call Diddy Mr. Freakoff. Mr. Freakoff isn't the only one who asked for straight men to be delivered to his hotel room when he is in London. They target dealers who want the extra cash, who are sure to be discreet because they have girlfriends. This is why the powerful rapper, and that's 50, is always mocking them, and why they're too afraid to say anything back. He's seen the videos. You guys see how like all of these chips were kind of falling? This is why I'm also so pissed. I remember being like, oh, that's weird. All of Beyonce's posts from Diddy's party are gone, and any evidence of her being there. Simon Cowell is rumored to be a notorious harem holder, kind of like Diddy. Simon Cowell is worried that he is next to face the Mr. Freakoff treatment.
But in addition to Diddy, she exposed other celebrities in her recordings, including J-Lo, the Kardashians, and even the royal family. She added that Jay's relationship with Diddy is more deeper than we initially believed, and that he will be the next to come under suspicion. Relax. This issue appears to be far more extensive than we could have imagined. People are hoping that Jaguar and Kat receive protection before it's too late because they obviously need it. I'd like to know what you think now. Do you believe that Jaguar and Kat Williams' lives are indeed in jeopardy? And do you guys believe they ought to hide till this is all resolved?
About being associated with Mr. Freakoff, he did not listen. Some of the men who claim to have stories about his private life have given him the names General Hyde. So, Mr. Freakoff is Diddy, General Hyde, TDJ. So I'm sure you can do the math on how that got there, that nickname. Sorry guys, I'm flustered right now. This is huge. Young Miami, the girlfriend of the wannabe rapper who was also named in a very recent lawsuit, has started selling off all of her possessions online. This is from March 4th. It sounds like the wannabe rapper cut her off financially. So, didn't cut his girlfriend off, his girlfriend Young Miami off on March 4th. You are like almost exactly 20 days later. That's him. Like I said, he was offloading all of his assets into offshore bank accounts, and with his mommy and with his kids. He didn't have any more cash in his bank accounts for Young Miami. There would be a fair chance he would be in jail by the time Labor Day rolled around, so canceled his festival. Why does Jay-Z allegedly think that there is a fair chance he will be in jail by the time Labor Day has rolled around? We will find out soon, because we are doing the Jay-Z Blind Deep Dive next on the Patreon, and now... But anyway, that's the latest. But also, and I cannot stress this enough, Beyonce is not her husband, and she was also allegedly heavily Jay-Z.